Hello, everybody. So we are here. This is another live with one of our speakers at the Reclaim You networking event, right? Super excited about this. So if you don't know me, if you're like, hey, who is this popping up on my on my channel? I'm Ilika Follette, and I work with wellness professionals to get out of the chase and the grind and move toward monthly recurring revenue using visibility strategies, productivity hacks, and mindset shifts. We take you to working less, living more, feeling better while you reclaim your revenue. So that's who I am. All right. So I'm excited. We're hosting an event called Reclaim You. And this event it's essentially about yourself on day one. So it's a 2-day event, Friday and Saturday. Day one, it's all about self. What can you do to take you to the next level overall? Because many times, as we all know, and I'm gonna let Felicia talk on this in a second, but as we all know, many times we're getting in our own way because of trauma or different things that we're holding on to. So we have some amazing experts and speakers on Friday, February 2nd, speaking on that. And then on Saturday, February 3rd, we have some incredible speakers talking about business. How do you take your business to the next level? You're already out of your way from Friday. Now let's take your business to the next level on Saturday. So that's what we're doing. If you haven't already, go ahead and go to reclaimyouretreats.com. If you can be in the Central Florida area, come and see us in person. It's going to be some amazing networking activities. We're serving lunch, all the things. But if you're like, I can't make it to Florida, then join us online. So, and it's just go to reclaimyouretreats.com. You can join us either virtually or in person. All right. So that's my startup. All right. Let me go ahead and pass it on to Felicia. Felicia Roberts, an amazing divorce recovery specialist. Felicia, please introduce yourself, tell folks who you serve, and let's get started in this conversation.
Yes, girl, I am so excited to be here. I can't even tell you. And even from the time that, we've been planning, I'm like, it's here. Game time. And so listen, I am Felicia Roberts. I am a divorce recovery specialist, and I partner with high achieving Christian women to rebuild their life after divorce, even if they've tried support groups, so that they can confidently navigate their newfound freedom. And I use my new woman blueprint to do this. So I'm excited. I'm here to really teach women that you can do divorce different.
Mm.
We're doing it different. We're not doing it like mama and them.
Well, mom and them didn't get divorced. They just what they did was they just stayed married in completely separate lives.
You see?
I got so many people, so many older relatives that I was like, oh, they did been divorced. Come to find out, no, they hadn't.
They they just parted ways and never divorced.
Right. But they still need you. At that point, they still need you because they're doing the same thing. They just need the
Absolutely.
paperwork done. Yep, exactly. So this is so important, though, Felicia. And I'm so glad that you decided to be a speaker at the Reclaim You event, because even as we're thinking about it, I know in my past business, I worked with a lot of I had a company called Reclaim Your Curves, and working with women to lose the weight, keep it off, feel good about themselves. But the thing that would always come up is we get to look at, why are you holding on to the weight, right? So that was the situation
Mm,
there. And many times I wish I'd had someone like you to bring in to work with many of them, because even after they'd lose the weight, they would many times pick it back up because there was still that trauma
yeah,
and that shame and the things that they were holding on to
yeah.
due to a marriage that failed, right? Because when you have something that failed, what do you feel like?
You feel like a failure. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And that starts to show in so many other aspects of life. So when
Absolutely.
thinking about like what you do and this event in general, right? There's going to be women in here who have had, relationships that have failed, right, quote unquote, that have are divorced, and then they're wondering why their business isn't hitting the way they thought it should. They're
Mhm.
pouring all this into it, but they're still holding on.
Yeah.
What can you share with them? Eat just a small tip. I don't want you to share everything because these people gonna have to come and get the real stuff.
That's it. That's it.
Just a slight tip on what they could what they can start to, or what they're actually seeing right now in their lives and how it's actually impacting them in other areas of their lives.
That's good. I will tell you when, as I work with clients, it's really about your identity, right?
Mm,
Because as you are coming out of a marriage, you've been married for a number of years,
mm,
your identity is still tied to that relationship, that marriage. It's tied to shame and guilt. It's all the things that come along with this emotional roller coaster. And
mm,
so, if you're a woman in business, you just need to even get your footing about being able to trust your decision making,
mm,
right? Because you had
mhm,
someone that you had to ask about, can, are we doing this, honey? Can I do that? Can I? But now it's just you. And so being able to have the confidence to know that, yes, you can make these decisions. You're
mm,
okay. Right.
mhm.
And you can get your feet on solid ground. But I think that's the biggest impact to women. Um, and I did some research and saw that divorce does impact productivity at work for women.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. And I can totally see how that would happen, right?
Absolutely. And I'm a product of it. I can
Mhm,
remember the days early on in my divorce. There would be days you have to keep working. Life is still happening. It's not like you can
mm,
just crawl in a corner somewhere. And so the
right.
days that I felt just like the lowest of the low, I would
Mhm,
literally have to close my office door and I would
mm,
ask my staff to just give me 5 minutes to, get myself together.
mm,
And so, and that would happen. I wouldn't even know when it was going to happen.
mhm.
You can't plan the grief and again,
Yeah.
the emotion. So it hits women, at different levels for sure.
Hmm. And that's the thing, right? When we're holding on to all these different things that are happening, right? Holding on to experiences that we've had in life, holding on to, or even trying to get back to understanding who am I?
Who
Who
am
am I post this situation,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And why me? Like all of these things that come up,
Yeah.
and many times we're like, what? But this won't get in the way of the other things that I'm doing. This won't affect, my
Yeah.
business growth. This
Yeah.
won't affect how I raise my children. This won't affect. And meanwhile, many times you don't even realize how we're showing up.
It's penetrating many areas. And don't forget, as a high achieving woman, you are used to, again, me as the poster child, you're used to getting it done. I call it the got it all together girl.
Ooh.
You are the decision maker. You are
Mhm,
the one who people come to resolve things. You are
mhm,
right in your community or your church or your family. And now this thing has you where you don't have
mhm,
control of, again, the grief process or the wondering about who I am and do I need to start a new career? My friend circle has changed. Like,
mhm,
right, all of that uprooting that you were so sure about in life that now has to be replanted, rebuilt. Not that it's over. And
mhm.
that's, where I come in. But yeah,
Yeah, and the one of the real powerful things, as you're speaking on it, that really is highlighted for me, is that you were mentioning you've been through this.
yes,
You've been through it and you've come out of it. So you
yes,
understand the steps along the way. And then you've helped so many other women go through that process, right?
yes,
That finding me after we.
yeah,
It's because everything is we, especially for folks who've been married, for someone who's been married for 20 years, let's
yeah,
say, or 15 years. You were so into this is us.
yeah,
We are doing this. We have our friends. We have these things.
yeah,
And then the hurt and the shame that happens, the embarrassment, right? We live in that.
yeah.
And it's like, I can't believe that this is me. I can't believe this has happened to me.
Yeah. And mind
And
you, you
mhm,
never you may have never intended for it to happen. Like
yeah,
you had a plan, right? You're going to be watching the
mhm,
grandkids playing from the porch.
yeah,
All you're going to be traveling as an empty
mhm,
nester. All of these plans that you have that are now
mhm,
no more.
right,
And so now you've got to again rediscover what are my passions.
mm,
What the simple things, and this is what I work with women, just the basic foundations. What
yeah,
are the simple things that I enjoy doing?
right, yep,
because we can't have a grand, we don't want to necessarily over continue to overwhelm you, but what are some core values? Are you a person of
Mhm.
authenticity? Do you, right? So let's get back to discovering your core values as a
Yeah.
woman so that you
Mhm.
now can start to rebuild that roadmap
Yeah.
to get you back to living your life again.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. And for folks who are watching this, if you are feeling this, if this is resonating with you, comment yes. I love hearing this, or this is powerful. If you're seeing that this is powerful, and or if you are someone who's like, you know what, I'm hearing myself in this. Reach out to Felicia because she is amazing at what she does. Like I don't work with people that's not, first of all. Let me just throw that out there, right? But secondly, like she's literally, we've had conversations and like I've seen the things that she's been able to do for women. And so if that's you, get into Felicia's inbox, right? And on top of that, be sure that you are at the Reclaim You event because she's going to give a whole talk providing skills, I mean, providing solutions, strategies, tools, and resources on how to get back to me after we, like how to step back into who you are. Like she mentioned, these core values,
Yeah,
these things get lost
yeah,
in the process. And what is funny is many times we don't talk about it when it comes to divorce. We talk about it when it comes to children,
yeah,
you know, you're
yeah,
having children, all these things, right? You got your kids, you don't know who you are outside of being a mom. We talk about it in that way. And
yeah,
no, there's never any shame around that. There's never any embarrassment or guilt around that.
yeah,
It's just, well, these are my kids, it's what I'm supposed to do.
yeah,
But the what comes up after having a divorce, similar, like there is shame, there is embarrassment, there is
yeah,
guilt
yeah,
around that.
yeah,
And there is also a bit of loss of self that comes with that.
yeah.
So being able to step back into that, I love when you mentioned about core values.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah, because
key.
it's getting back to the basics of you. I mean,
Mhm.
and I can tell you, in the women that I work with, they use the words lost. I
Mhm.
feel totally lost.
Oof.
I don't know
Mhm.
where to even start. And I'm talking, these are women who are, again, high achieving women.
Mhm. Right.
Um, but they now feel lost in life. And
Exactly.
so I really work with them to, again, start from the basics.
Mhm.
Let's start with some core value work, some mindset
Mhm.
work, again, to help work through that shame and guilt. But I
Mhm.
let them identify what feelings and emotions that we need to sort through. I don't want to put that on them because I may have experienced that. So my program is really tailor made to the woman, and what her needs are based off where
Mhm.
she is in the divorce journey.
Yeah. And it's so important, right? Because even when we think about something like uh small, if you think like you would think about it in a small way, like how do you like your eggs?
Yeah.
Like something like that.
Listen, I tell this funny story. Um, when I first got divorced, I was, now you're shopping for one person, grocery shopping.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
mind you, I was used to shopping for a family. So, here we had the family pack of chicken and the family pack of everything, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And now I was like, I don't want a family pack of chicken wings. I want one chicken breast. That's all. And I remember having a meltdown in the store, like, why don't they just sell one, small
Right.
pack of chicken? And you just don't know where you're going to be overwhelmed with those
Mhm.
emotions, because
Yeah.
something as simple as you were shopping for two or shopping for a family, that
Mhm.
now it's
Mhm.
just you, and everything is
Amazing.
geared toward family, or
Mhm.
right. It's the
It's
funniest
true.
thing, but it's those little places you have to navigate. Like,
Mhm.
wow, I didn't know this was going to hit me like this.
Yep, exactly. Yes. And that's the thing too, when you've come through the journey, right? And
Yeah.
you're on the other side, you can go back and laugh at those
Yes.
situations, number one. But number two, it's like when you think you've come through it, because many folks have been, well, I've been divorced for 5 years. I'm fine.
Mm,
And not seeing how it's showing up in other areas of life,
absolutely.
and even within yourself. So it's like
Absolutely.
really, really leaning into what that means, right?
Yes.
There's
Absolutely.
yep.
Yeah, you're making a very good point. Because that's another place or myth that I bust up, is using time or using another relationship to
Mhm.
gauge your healing.
Oof.
You should not ever use those two as a gauge of whether you're healed or not. So in my programs, we deal with that.
Mhm. Yes. Oh,
That's a very
that's
good point.
major.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then you don't know until the button is pushed or you're in another relationship that is not going the way that you thought it was going to go, but you thought time passed, or you thought getting
Yeah.
in another relationship meant you were emotionally well.
Mhm.
And that's usually not the case if you haven't done the work.
Yep, exactly. Oof, I like that. So, everybody, we just gave y'all a little taste of this powerhouse, Felicia Roberts. She's going to be speaking at the Reclaim You event. And if you can actually be there in person, if you are in Central Florida, and you can be in person February 2nd and 3rd. Come join us. This is a full networking event with strategies around self and business. So Friday is self, Saturday is business, because we get out of our own way on Friday so we can step into the business on Saturday, right? There's lunch provided and amazing networking activities. Where one thing I always say that you get to leave with when you attend this event, right? You get to walk away with the three C's. And I stole some of this from Deanna Jean, and she knows I stole it from her. So two of them I stole from her. The third one I came up with. You get to leave with clients, collaborators, and connectors, right?
Good.
So it's people who get to really help you, who you get to partner with, who you get to grow with. And that's what this is all about. So I'm super excited. I know I'm excited for
I am too. I
Felicia's
can't
talk. Yes.
wait.
And I cannot wait to see you all there. So wanted to say hey to folks in the comments. Hey, Doug. Hey, Chanel. So folks are watching. We are here and I'm super excited. So if you have not signed up already, go to reclaimuretreats.com. It should be in the description of this video. And I'm also going to put it here in the comments so everyone can see and know exactly where to sign up. You come. All right. So I'm putting it in the comments. All right. So we will see y'all there February 2nd and
Yes.
3rd. All right. Thank you
Hi,
so much,
everybody.
Felicia. Such a great time. We'll talk to y'all
Excellent.
soon. Everybody have
Okay.
a great day.
Bye bye.
Actually, no, I'll be back in a few in about 30 minutes, going live with another speaker. Now that I think about it. So we'll see you in
Excellent.
about 30 minutes, or I will. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Have a
Bye
great
bye.
day, everybody.